I think I'd much rather look like a gerbil than a gay biker. Hey, hello, how you doing there? It's Class of Detective. It's Friday night. So we're going to go and jump into the quotes. We'll start with Paul. Go ahead.
Mine's from a classic 90s action sci-fi. I need a new corporal. You're in until you're dead or I find someone better.
Starship Troopers.
There you go.
Wow. That was quick.
Love
Mike,
that movie.
or what's your wrestling name right now?
My wrestling name is Teardrop the Taco Molester.
That sounds about right. Go ahead there, Teardrop.
All right. My quote is from 2009. Do you already regret your little escape? In fact, I'm thankful for it. I know definitely you are the middle piece.
That sounds something my taco molester would say.
Taco Molester. Teardrop the Taco Molester.
Nacho Libre.
No.
I don't know. Captain Hair.
In honor, I'll let you guys know. In honor of the shittiest book of the week, it is Human Centipede, the original 2000.
I never even seen that movie.
How dare you shut your Funko mouth?
Well, I wouldn't even bother. I saw the South Park take on it. That was pretty funny, but I didn't watch the real movie.
I'll pay for your plane ticket out here.
Okay. You're up, Jeremy.
All right. Mine is not a comic book movie. It's a cult classic from the 80s. First character goes, have a nice day. And the second character goes, be sure and tell them Large Marge sent you.
Oh, that's Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Pee-wee's, yeah.
I forgot about that. Give me a second here. Hey, Mike, why don't you give us an update on our contest and in the chat while I'm looking up the name of my movie real quick.
Absolutely, and it's Teardrop tonight, buddy.
Teardrop, sorry, Teardrop. I think I'm going to have a couple teardrops before the end of this episode tonight.
Oh, man. All right, we got JLS Comics in the house. Cat Ren Figures, hashtag free to others. She knows what I'm talking about. Got to free them fucking others, man. Doom 143 just hopped in here. Jason Smith, as always, is in here. Reviews from the Batcave. He's saying,
yeah.
Who
are those guys?
I don't know who those guys are. But that book over your right shoulder is very shiny.
It is very shiny, yes.
And Aim High Comics is in the house. He's been waiting for a long time for the show to start. So,
how about our contest? How many entries we got in a contest? Who's got those entries?
Oh, who's got those entries in the contest? We got Funk Off, who was our first one. Tat Comics got some entries in. Aim High, who's in the chat. Seeking Your Mints got some comic entries. Mighty LJ with her stealth entry, and Marco 808. So we got 6 entries into the Summer Spectacular contest. SS Comic Reader just popped in. Black Pole's here. And do you want me to talk about something else?
Yeah. How much longer do we have for our contest entry?
How much longer do we have? What is today's date? The 14th. You have till August 28th for an entry.
Okay. I'm good now. I couldn't remember the name of my damn movie. I'm going to quote, so I had to look it up. It's just a movie from right around early 2000s. I hope your diddly turns black and falls in the crapper. It's a wrestling movie.
I know the name of it. Oh my God.
That's why I had to look it up.
Ready to Rumble.
It is Ready to Rumble. You're correct. And
SS Comic Reader says, yes, Poopy Paul is back, baby.
Poopy Paul is back. Or Polly Pocket, as I like to call him once in a while, too. So we'll go ahead and jump into JLS Comics as a wrestler. Nope. Sorry, it is a wrestling movie, not the wrestler. I don't think they really used Diddley Turns Black and Falls in the Crapper and that movie.
Aunt May was in that movie.
Aunt May was in the wrestler. You are correct.
As a stripper.
As a stripper, I think she was even naked. I'm not sure if they used a body double on that, but
Nope.
we digress completely off of comics, and we will jump back into comics. We'll start with Paul. What's your first book of the week?
Well, let's just shock everybody right off the bat. My pick of the week, and that is Defenders #3, a freaking Marvel book. The art and story on this have been consistently good, and I'm down for any book in which the Punisher drives a K-bar through the top of someone's head. The last page was awesome. It definitely gets you going for issue 4. I'm really excited to read the next issue. And this is probably the first time since Unworthy Thor I've been looking forward to a next Marvel issue. This is a big time stash.
Was this a series that started off with just? I know I've read Defenders #1. I can't remember how it started off. Did Cottonmouth come back in the first issue?
Diamondback.
Yes.
Okay.
Diamondback, yeah.
Diamondback, sorry. Jeremy, you read that book as well. What do you think of Defenders #3?
It's my co-pick of the week. Yeah, like this wasn't even on my radar until Paul was talking about it in our little chat. And I was like, well, I might give that a try then, because I read issue 1 and then I didn't read issue #2, but I was hoping that I wouldn't, like, I could just jump on #3, and it worked out. They kind of, since this one started off right at the end where #2 left off, I think the Punisher was there, and he at the end of issue #2 like shot them all up or something. But yeah, this was great. The last panel, like Paul said, that's the way to end the book. So yeah, co-pick of the week for me.
Fucking Drew Manchu's in the house. What's up, Drew Manchu? Airborne Sapper popped in here. Area 51. Grandpa looks like a kamikaze pilot. It's motherfucking Teardrop the Taco Molester.
So, Teardrop, so why don't you go ahead and give us, because you didn't read Defenders #3, give us your first book.
I did not. Let's see. Let me find it.
We also have our butler in here, Reaper Tate, just joined in.
Oh, what's up, Reaper?
Reaper Tate.
What's up, Reap?
This mask is going to be very sweaty when this show's over. I need somebody to clean it. I'm just saying.
Airborne said I didn't know Bane was the guest tonight.
Train number 8, the Zombie Express. So apparently this is going to be a movie coming out sometime soon. I was watching JLS's video, and he said it's already a Korean movie, but anyway, pretty cool intro story about how the government is genetically engineering these flies to control fire ant problems in the southern U.S. So that plays in how this zombie disease is spreading, and it goes to science. Okay, I can't talk on this fucking thing.
Take that thing off. Save it for later tonight when we're off there.
All right.
I can't. This thing gonna be sweaty for the end of the night. I can't talk in this thing.
Sorry, it was funny.
Tacos are safe.
Yeah, tacos are safe.
Especially yours, Paul. All right, so we get some scientists. They're playing God, injecting mice with the juice, with the forward fly juice, and basically that starts this whole. That's what they call the flies, forward flies.
Oh.
They go out and eat these fire ants and roaches and all kinds of crap. So yeah. That's how this zombie outbreak starts, and it flash forwards to eight hours later, and 2 college girls are heading to I think Chicago for Thanksgiving, and shit goes downhill. This was okay until I watched JLS's video, and he brought up the fact of the moral dilemma: do they keep the train going and just contain it, or save themselves and get off the train and let the zombies free and let it spread? So that made me appreciate the book a little bit more. So this is actually a stash for me. Number 1 here, train number 8.
Yeah, I picked it up as well. Again, I'm gonna just piss and moan about, mainly because it's a brand new book and they got a big old nasty stress mark, color breaking stress mark on there. This actually was pretty good. I do have a couple things about it. It's like, dude, they just injected this rat with this stuff and it came back to life, and it's just, I think, didn't it eat the other rat that was in the cage, just going absolutely crazy.
Yes.
And this dumbass, who's supposed to be this doctor or whatever, probably has a PhD, sticks his hand down in there without any kind of PPE, personal protective equipment. That's a rat bite him. What the hell kind of dumbass is that? That's my complaint about him. I mean, I'm sure he's educated. Why would he stick his hand down there without knowing? And it kind of reminds me of the movie Speed with zombies. The Cheers the Train blasting through, and it does have it, like you said, that moral dilemma. Do we kill or have ourselves get killed? What?
JLS.
No, yeah.
I have no idea what Huey is saying. All I see is ASM 129.
They have the moral dilemma. Do they let themselves get killed and contain this on this train, like you said, or try to stop it and let the thing off? It's only 3 issues long. I wish it was a little lower price. I wish it was like at least $3.99, but I'll definitely pick up the other 2 issues just to kind of figure out where the stories go. And the zombie thing is kind of getting played out a little bit, but this is a cool kind of new take on it. I definitely appreciate it. So it's a stash for me as well. Jeremy, what is your first book?
Okay, we'll go ahead and get it out of the way. Another co-pick of the week of mine is The Casting number 1. The art, man, dear God, it seemed like they let John Romita Jr. do a load of the art in this one more than anybody else, and it almost took me out of it. But they keep going back to this whole. I was kind of confused. I kind of had to think about it, because it's kind of long. It seemed like it was to me. But it's all Carter Hall talking about the 9th metal, and like he's talking to the immortal men, and like he says the immortal men there, and he's talking to them, and it shows. But this is the first time since the DCU rebirth that we got mention of Shazam. They show the wizard Shazam, and they show that there's this dagger made out of that metal that's imbued with the powers of Shazam. I don't know where that's going to come into play. But and they also kind of give some backstory to those Batman one shots, the evil Batman they're going to be showing, and those one shots they got coming out. And they told about how in New 52, when Batman, when the Joker killed Batman, Bruce Wayne, he fell down in that well or whatever. Like when he got up, he was covered in some kind of shiny green metal stuff, and on the wall it showed all through the different years or whatever. It was people finding different things on the walls, like cave markings of the different versions of the Batman, the evil one. So I don't know where that's going to come into play, but yeah, it's a stash for me. I don't know if the Batman one-shots will be before metal or if they'll be strung out during metal, or how that's going to go down. But yeah, that was a stash for me.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that's confused by kind of what's going on. I went back and read the Forge again. They kind of, it actually picked up some things in the Forge that kind of made sense the second time around. I'm confused where Batman is. At the end of the Forge, he went through that lock, or that door that Mr. Miracle had opened, and Mr. Miracle disappeared. Now, is Batman still in that room or in that area? I don't understand.
I don't know. I was confused by that too, and I hadn't went back and read the Forge again. But I'm like you. It kind of confused me. I think they kind of messed up by making it a month apart, because you read so much. I know we do. We read so many comics that when you take a month apart and it's a story like that is so convoluted and it's got so much stuff going on. It's kind of easy to forget some stuff. So maybe it would read better if you waited and read them both back to back. I don't know.
I did that, and I was still a little confused on where Batman actually is in this.
I didn't understand that either.
I thought it was funny here. Wonder Woman, he meets Wonder Woman. She gives him the sword that was Apollo's to it's his compass to light the way where he's going, but don't give in to the dark. what's he do as soon as he sees Talia al Ghul? He freaking gets rid of it and gets the ninth metal knife, the Shazam knife or whatever. And I thought that was pretty funny. It's like, here, I'll just quickly get rid of this, even though you told me not to, and just get something else. But it's a stash, but it's a convoluted stash. I'll say that.
Yeah, that's the way. I mean, Jackie says, "How can anything currently drawn by Romita Jr. be pick of the week?" Trust me, it ain't because of Romita Jr.'s art. It's because of Scott Snyder. And I think, I don't know, it was tag teamed by Scott Snyder and James Tynion. So I'm hoping when it gets to metal, it won't be so, because it'll just be Greg Capullo and Scott Snyder, working together. And the only thing that'll be getting collaborated on is the covers. So with Kubert and them. So I'm hoping when it gets to that, we'll get a more straightforward story, Yeah.
Paul, what do you think of casting?
I thought it was decent, but at the same time, I thought it was kind of underwhelming. I mean, I like a lot of the characters that are going to be involved in this arc, and it was nice to see them mentioned. But just let's get on with it, and let's stop with the JR art. And
right.
And I don't know who the asshole is at DC that thinks it's a cool freaking idea to change artists every 2 fucking pages. Stop that shit. You need to be shot. We don't like that. Get an artist, do the book.
Just like how the Punisher's shooting the Amazing Spider-Man on that book.
Yeah.
Oh, he was shooting a rock, but the rock died.
Yeah, we'll send the Punisher after his ass.
So it's a kind of stash.
Yeah, I mean, I just want the story to get going, and JR to go away.
I'm a big JR fan. I mean, I loved his Punisher Warzone stuff. It's kind of like still kind of gritty, not necessarily clean art, but I enjoyed it enough. But some of it is pretty damn bad in this. I have to agree.
There's a panel in there where Wonder Woman is grabbing her sword, and her fingers just looks like something. I mean, I can draw, but I'm not no artist or anything. But I mean, I could have did better hands than that. Her hands look like just little circles with pink like dots in there, like supposed to be hand. I don't know, man.
Mike, what do you think of the casting?
You guys said a lot. Switching to artists halfway through or a quarter of the way through, and just took me out of the whole book completely. I was confused. I do like the stuff with the Joker and Duke and Green Lantern, and that's about it. So this was a blast, but it is what it is.
Okay, my first book. I'm the one that read this one. I know Paul is kind of a fan. I don't know if you said you picked it up or not. You haven't read it, but that is Gru, Play of the Gods. Like I said in my video before, if you know me, I've been a Gru fan for quite some time. The only thing I can say about Sergio Aragonis and who's his writer or letterer, I guess, maybe it's me getting older, but it seems like they're far more political now in these books than they were before. Like there's one before that's talking about essentially global warming. This one's talking about essentially religious persecution, where these people are getting shoved out of their town and moving into the next town, and they have to conform to the religion or they're getting tortured and everything like that. Then you're adding Gru in there. And of course, Gru, everybody's so afraid of him because he loves phrase. He ends up kicking everybody's ass and everybody leaves. Nobody wants him on a ship because he's bad luck. He sinks every ship he gets on. This is a stash for me. I mean, like I said, I'm a fan of Sergio's art. It's simple art. It's cartoon. And Gru's an easy read. I mean, you're not going to get anything too deep with it, although it has been a little more political lately. But this is a stash for me. This is I think this is four parts in this comic. And yeah, moving on to Paul. Is your second book?
I think I'm the only one that read this one. It's called Skin and Earth, and I pretty much liked it. It was a story was interesting. It's a post-apocalyptic kind of thing. The art was decent. Feels like it's just touching the surface in the first issue. I think it's either a 4 or 6 issue arc, and I didn't know this going into it, but apparently it was written and drawn by some pop artist to tie into her new album. And I went out and listened to one of her songs on YouTube. It's certainly not the type of stuff I would normally listen to, but it's like catchy pop stuff. I mean, it's just, it seems like it's going to have a lot coming up in the next few issues. So, I mean, it's definitely a stash. Pick it up, try it out. Kind of different.
Only Polly Pocket would get interested in a book. Would get an interesting book. Mike.
Jill, I said, you're not selling me on this book, Paul.
Uh-oh.
I know. Paulie's tired. Paulie's not up to par today.
No, not up to snuff. Right. What's your second book, Mike?
Let's do Centipede by Dynamite Comics, based off the old Atari video game that I popped many a quarters into when I was a youth.
Yeah, I'm sure you popped a lot of things in there.
Look, man. All right, so basically we get fucking this don't even take place on planet Earth. It's some planet called Styrex or something. About this, there's this dude Dale Trell. It's like day 23 of the Centipede apocalypse, and he's the last man on Earth. And everyone was killed by the centipede and the mushrooms and the spiders. And, so yeah, it goes into a little bit about Dale's past and before the apocalypse. This is pretty boring. They had me at the beginning, if it was on Earth and this was if it was there were like human survivors in camps and stuff, it would have got me a little bit, but this book sucks. So blasting that motherfucker.
Paul, you picked up that one too?
Yeah, because Mike said, I read the new Centipede book and that was a mistake. I said, I got to check this out. This book was a fucking hot mess. God, it was horrible. The art sucked. Their story, if you could call it that, sucked. You blast this to whatever freaking planet they set it on because it was freaking awful.
Styrex.
Sounds like you needed to be eating some of those mushrooms to understand it, maybe.
I mean, we could arrange that.
Maybe. Maybe a different show. Maybe an off-air.
It was bad.
I mean, meth is pretty big out here.
No, they don't even start about that. Moving on. Jeremy, what is your second book?
Second book is another Marvel book, shockingly. Spider-Man 2, number 1. I went into this book with nothing about it. I just knew it was Miles Morales and Peter Parker together, and I came out knowing even less than I did going in. I don't know anything that they were talking about, some of the events they were talking about the dimensions crossing over or whatever, but I was entertained by it, so. It's not a pick of the week, but it's a stash for me. I'd probably pick up Spider-Man 2, number 2.
I think I'm kind of there with you because I wasn't reading comics when Miles Morales, his first appearance. And so I'm kind of confused on some of these alternate worlds and stuff and where they're coming from. So I was a little lost going into it. I mean, I kind of understand the character of Miles Morales, but I don't know how he fits in with the rest of this Spider-Man universe. I don't think I'd pick up issue 2. I mean, it was okay, well enough. It's to make a lot of like college stuff, the whole scene where he likes the girl, but he was afraid to talk to her, and the guy ends up calling her over. It was kind of stuff that I wasn't really interested in. It's a blast for me. I mean, I hate to say it, and it's probably a blast mainly on my own part because I don't understand what's going on exactly. I don't know the character's backstory.
Oh, what cover is that?
So. What cover is what?
I've never seen that one.
I don't know. This is the cover A.
Oh, I got this one.
Well, good for you. Why don't you tell us about your book then?
I will tell you about my pick of the week right here, Spider-Man 2 with Miles Morales.
Is that an Alex Ross cover? Kind of looks like an Alex Ross.
It's Alan Ross.
No, it's Bob Ross.
Yeah,
Put a nice little happy Spider-Man over here, and put a nice Miles Morales over there, and
happy little trees.
So this book, Peter and Miles tied up in a burning airplane hangar, tried to stop somebody on a plane that's getting ready to take off, and we have no clue who's on the plane, why this all happened. The boys get free, and Miles fails to stop the plane, and the book actually starts then. Fast forward 1 week later, Miles is in class. Pete is fighting the armadillo. Spider-Man beats him, and he sees some magical light vortex in the distance, so he goes to check it out. It goes back to Miles crushing on a girl. All of a sudden, this big metal robot head falls out of the sky, and then Miles sees the same glowy vortexy thing that Pete saw. They go to investigate it, and one of my favorite villains of all time steps out of this portal, and I'm going to spoil it right here, so if you don't fucking know, pause this shit. It is the Taskmaster, and then it goes to the last page where there is actually another Miles from God knows where, and it was really good. It was good. So this is my pick of the week. So stash.
I thought Spider-Man or Peter Parker was being kind of a dick when he said, "You should have never been Spider-Man," talking to Miles Morales over something. Wasn't that in that book?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that. Oh, well, what a jerk. Okay, my second book. I guess I'll do the other one that nobody else read, and that is Dread Gods, #1 by IDW. This is a little different take on the Greek mythology. We're going to be talking about that in this a little bit here as well. It starts off in this. It looks like I think it's a future. This crazy town. This little dude in a wheelchair is kind of excuse me, trying to get through and trying to plug himself in to where Zeus. That's Zeus there, which is I always thought of Zeus as white hair, big beard.
That's Iron Fist.
He's almost more like Xavier in a way. But as he gets up and they get to this big thing, and he all end up plugging in to see them talk and see them fight. Now, one thing I do think is kind of cool. Here's the Hydra. The Hydra is the one that had multiple heads, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what he says. Hydra right there. So this Hydra ended up popping up, and crazy kind of X-Men moment when let's see where it says. I'll try to find it here. He says, "Come to me, my godlings." Very much Xavier, to me, my X-Men kind of thing. It's kind of cool because you think of them as this fighting force, all together. That's kind of a cool aspect of it. But other than that, it's only a portion of the book too. It's only half the book, and then it goes into another story called Giant Killers. And this one's a little different too. There's this guy with a girl, and they're traveling across the land, and they're trying to avoid these people. What's that?
Is that a didgeridoo you sound?
He does. He sets on a little log, and he plays a didgeridoo. They end up getting attacked. They're following this girl. Like I said, it intrigued me so much I barely remember anything about it. So it's a blast for me. I mean, they even have a thing of Diablo House, which I read last week. So if it was this Dread Gods, I might pick it up again to see what the second issue is like, but not with all this other filler in there. Because this was $4, I guess, a decent amount of book for $4. But Dread Gods, yeah. The other one, not so much. Paul, do you have a third book?
Nope, we've already done everything I've read this week.
What? Okay.
Say what? Say what?
Say what? Mike, how about you?
Yeah, I actually have a question.
Uh-oh.
Um,
Ask away.
this hero denied mage, number 0. I thought the characters were awesome in this book, and apparently I don't know what it's from, or if someone in the chat knows who these characters are.
I know it's an older Image book, so it's a second. They've been out before, but I don't know anything about the characters. That's why I didn't pick it up, because it was already an established character. I'm like, I think I'll pass.
Yeah. Someone named the Pendragon, and he meets this rookie hero right here called the Steez or whatever. And I don't know. I just really like the two. There's only 2 characters in this book. This book is really thin. Probably about 15 pages. But I'm gonna have to investigate because I really enjoyed this. So this was a stash for me. Seeking Nearman Comics is in the house.
What else is Matt Wagner done? He's done some other stuff, right? I can't remember anything off the top of my head. I know he's done other stuff, though. Okay.
That's the main character right there on the back. Let's get this shit over with. Like, he doesn't want to be a superhero, so I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool. I'm going to have to investigate.
Trinity, do you have any other books?
Why, yes, I do have more books to talk about. We'll go ahead and get to my pick of the week, and that is The Flash, number 26. I'll go ahead and say I read this book not knowing that I missed the issue before that, so I had to go back and read both of them. But issue 26, it was fantastic. It's Reverse Flash is. He has took Iris and Barry into the future, the 25th century, and it kind of goes and replays back what in the issue 25 replays back when he met Barry, and how him and Barry got into the fight and everything because he wanted to be the Flash and all this kind of stuff. But issue 26 starts out and he's got him in the future. He's in the Flash Museum. He's showing them like their kids, like, because Barry, he's showing how Barry, like always, he's absent. He's not there for anybody that he loves, like Iris and any of his family. He's always like gone for birthday parties and stuff. So his kids grow up to be rogues, and like his kids are tearing down Central City, and he's like trying to get them to stop. And it's at the end of issue 25 though. He takes Barry in front of Iris and like reveals his identity to her, and like she's hurt that Barry never would tell her. She's like I guess I get it that you wanted to protect me, but everything that Reverse Flash said always happened in all the timelines is that Barry neglects the people he loves. So yeah, it was my pick of the week.
I was trying to catch up on Flash for this week. I hadn't read anything since The Button. So I read those 3 issues after The Button, and I didn't get to 26. I was interested in kind of seeing where that storyline ends up, because I think at the end of 25, they end up going to the future. That's where he has Iris right there, the Reverse Flash, and that's where I'm at right now.
The end of 26, though, it ends with a twist. I won't give it away, but something happens, and I was like, what? So we're going to have to see where this goes. But yeah, that's it. It was like the cover is really sick too. It's got it's Barry and he's like pulling his face apart, and Reverse Flash is under there, or it's in the reverse. It's like I don't know. It's one of the two is under the other. I can't remember which one it is.
They said it turned Barry at the end into Venom, and so Blackpool said, "Chad, it was dripping of negative Speed Force." So I actually dropped Flash a few issues back, right after The Button, I think, and I love that. Did you get the cover where he's breaking through?
Did I?
Well, that's the one. I think that's one I got coming. So
yeah, that's
I read it digitally.
I love that cover. I should have got that motherfucker.
Let me look. Hold on. Yeah. It's Reverse Flash on the inside. Yeah, it's the art on the interior is the same as it's been all throughout it. Some of it's kind of, but The story is so good. Joshua Williamson is doing so good on that book, and I'm like you, Mike. I was gonna because I was behind on it, and I read this one, and I was gonna this time when it got to when it was time to re up my monthly pool list, I was gonna drop it. That was one of the ones I was gonna drop, but now I'm like I got to keep that one on there. I got to pick something else to drop. So
okay. Cross that off our list. I already did. And my next book is Edge of the Venomverse #2. See, I was thinking this were, and maybe at the end it'll all connect. But this was a totally different type of story than Edge of the Venomverse #1 with X-23. This was a comedy, like Gwenpool and Venom. Did it work for Gwenpool? Yeah, it worked for Gwenpool because that's who the person she is, just like Deadpool. That whole not going to take it serious, know that you're in a comic book kind of thing. Now, if you like that kind of thing, it's probably great. I don't know. Like you were going to say something, Mike. I'm hoping everything's going to kind of connect at the end together. So give us your thoughts of it.
The Edge of the Venomverse books are I think are going to be spotlighting single characters. Like next one will be Ghost Rider, a Venomized Ghost Rider. And then when the actual Venomverse book comes out, it's going to be,
Oh, so these are just like a one-shot, essentially.
Yeah, just characters. Like the Edge of the Spider-Verse was just, one of them was, Spider-Gwen and so forth. But,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I started reading that book. I don't care for Gwenpool, so when I opened it up, I was hoping that she would just be in the book and it wouldn't be a lot of her. But when I saw all the pink writing bubbles and the comedy, I noped out. I said nope.
Jeremy doesn't like pink bubbles. So he's not a fan of Mr. Bubbles. Maybe he had a bad thing that happened in a bubble bath when he was a kid and didn't like the pink bubbles. Is that what happened, Jeremy? Mr. Bubbles scare you? He touched you at a bad naughty spot?
No.
Went to the no place.
Went to the no place. I'm out of books this week. Paul, you're out of books. Mike, I know you've got a couple more. Or you want to talk some more about that one?
Oh, yeah, definitely. So, yeah, basically, freaking this is like you said, a comedy Gwenpool book, but she's infected with the symbiote. I didn't care for this one. I thought this was a lot weaker than the first one. Daredevil is in this book. She gets a lady boner over Daredevil, and yeah, I think Gwen looks pretty cool right here, but then she looks like Baraka from Mortal Kombat in the actual book. I think she looks stupid. Let me show you guys. Let's see here.
There is that badass splash page where she gets shot. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, right here. That's how she looks in the book.
Oh,
so I don't like it.
Oh my God, crazy noob. Crazy noob.
What's up, noob?
Oh my goodness.
I got a lady boner.
Hey, we show that splash page where she gets shot.
Speaking of
that was kind of a cool
Daredevil
page.
being in there, though, I gotta bring up a point, and we were talking about Defenders earlier, and it was the scene where in the panel, Paul, you know what I'm talking about, where he was trying to get what's his name? They was talking about Luke Cage wanted to know what Daredevil's real name was, and he was like, I think his real name's Gary.
Yep.
I thought it was cool how it was like it transitioned from that into the car when Iron Fist and Jessica Jones was sitting there. It was like she thinks his name. He was at the same time she was telling Iron Fist he thinks Daredevil's real name is Gary, and he's like, why Gary?
So how did Matt Murdoch see that picture that Gwenpool drew?
What?
I don't think he did.
I swore like put his hand on it and it was saying that this was the reason or whatever. I thought he saw it.
She's actually an intern at some company and she's doodling while Matt Murdoch and some CEO are having a conversation, and she's doodling Matt Murdoch. I love him. I love, just like a little girl. And she accidentally gives this piece of paper to her boss, and she don't want the boss to find out that Matt Murdoch's Daredevil, and she goes after the boss, and the Hand gets involved. Yeah, I didn't care for it.
So I think, Jeremy, you're out of books too, right? Or do you have one more?
I got one more.
You got one more. Okay, go right ahead there.
War of the Planet of the Apes, or War for the Planet of the Apes, #1. It's like
before you start, Jeremy. Before you start, I'm highly disappointed you guys don't know what this is a cover swipe for. So I seen some of y'all's videos.
Oh, I know what that's for.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of videos where this is an awesome cover, but you know, there's no mention of one of the greatest movies ever, Full Metal Jacket. So
we're old enough to remember it.
Me like you long time.
True. But all right, go ahead.
There,
sorry.
Yeah, I don't really remember much about it. It was one of the first ones I read. I don't remember if it's a 1 of 4 or like, you know, the first part of a 4-part or a 6-part series. But it was cool. I liked it. It gives a little backstory on the I guess it's going to give a little backstory before the movie if you read this before. Speaking of Seeking Near Miss, the movie was good. Saw it last night and it was epic. I'm thoroughly excited about seeing it, and I need to go see it sometime this coming up week. Yeah, it's a stash for me. I want to pick up the rest of them and see how that goes. I know it's got a lot to do with Caesar, and they got what's his name's Woody Harrelson. His character's in the book too. So yeah, and I like how they kind of portray the monkeys like sign language and stuff. Like it was cool the way they did that.
The past two Planet of the Apes movie were excellent. So. In my opinion. So, and this book is just filling the gap. You see, you know, it's kind of like The Walking Dead now, where humans are living in like these encampments and fending for their lives.
Yeah.
So, and I guess we're about to bring the war to them. The humans are about to bring the war to the apes. So, I just absolutely love this cover. It's going in my cover box. I have a cover box now. So. This is a stash. This is for fighting. This is for fun. Oh yeah.
Was that a prequel you said to the movie that's going to be out
now?
Today.
It's out now. Yeah, it came out today.
Yeah.
I think this just gives a little backstory. I don't think you have to read this to watch the movie.
No.
I think it just kind of fills in some of the gaps for you or something.
Okay. Any other last-minute books you want to talk about, Mike, before we jump into the next segment?
Yeah, I'll just run through them real quick here. The Howling Revenge of the Werewolf Queen. This was a blast only because of the simple fact it's been so long since I've actually seen the original Howling. I don't remember it, and this picks up right after that left off. Suicide Squad. You know, I love my Suicide Squad. Harley's leading the team now. Since Flag is MIA or dead or wherever he's at, the team ain't jiving with Harley anymore because she's got a change of attitude because she was kind of screwing Flag on the side. Now he's gone. She's back to her old evil ways, and you know they don't like her tactics and stuff. So good stuff going on in there. Weapons of Mutant Destruction Part 3, Weapon X. This book was boring as fuck.
That's kind of a cool cover, though. I like that cover.
Yeah, I'm slowly losing interest in this whole Weapons of Mutant Destruction thing. If you want some good Wolverine stuff, read Old Man Logan, number 26. Also, this was close to being my pick of the week. This is my second pick of the week right here. Old Man Logan. Another great book this week, X-Men Blue, number 7. Venom 152, also really good. For a while there, Jean Grey, number 4, right here, was going to be my pick of the week. She's actually finds Thor, and she wants to learn to become a warrior because she knows the Phoenix Force is coming. When she finds Thor, he's drunk as fuck. So you get drunken Thor in this, and Jean Grey, and it's just awesome. Action Comics 983. This is also a stash. You get Team Superman versus the Revenge Squad. Great stuff happening in there. And Quentin Quire and the Generation X. Thank you, Drew Manchu, if you're still in here, for turning me on to Quentin Quire. He's just an awesome character, and that's the only reason I'm picking up Generation X. And that is it.
That is it. And now we're actually going to move on to a new segment we're going to try to do each week. New segment! So we're not sure what we're calling this yet. Paul wanted to call it Kickstarter Creator Corner, well, with K's.
No, Kickstarter Corner. The creator one was for the special show, and then we decided.
Oh, yeah. So we're like, hey, wait a minute. So this is where we're going to review Kickstarter books. We're going to look at some online, get a hold of a couple people so we can review their books. And we got 2 this week. One is Prometheus, and the other one is Rum Row. And I'm going to go to jump into Prometheus. I have the page up. I'm going to do a screen share on it and kind of show you some of the art. Let me find out. There it is. Where is it? Apparently, I don't have it open.
Dun, dun,
There it is. You guys see that right there?
Yeah.
Let's see here. Give me a go. Let me.
I actually read this book, and 2 thumbs up. I enjoyed it.
So this is the cover here. I mean, what I kind of want to start with, like, would that be a cool poster? I think that would be a pretty cool poster. This is actually by Ryan Little and Chris Sheehan. So this is a Greek mythology story here, where Prometheus has, I actually do a little research on it because I didn't know the character very well. So I Googled Prometheus, found out he's the one that stole the fire from Zeus. And this whole story is he's constantly battling every day, and he's dying for Zeus as his punishment. And now it never shows how he escapes, but it shows him in modern time. He's walking through the streets. He's bleeding. He's trying to, he goes to this hotel and then, or it's a laundromat actually, and they find, and he's asking, "Do you know who I am?" And there's, "Yeah, we know who you are." And he ends up sleeping, but now he's in modern times, and he sleeps for 3 days. He ends up waking up. And the guy's like, "Okay, you might want to take it easy because, this is going to be a pretty good shock to your system. You might want to take a taxi out and kind of like see the city." So he goes out and sees the city. He ends up getting a tablet. And he says, "Hey, start out, just push a square. Just all you got to do is push squares and get an idea of what's happened since you've been here last time." And he ends up getting pretty irritated because he apparently the fire has been stolen from mankind again. Because everything is leading up to maybe we'll scroll down here. Do we have the page? No, we don't have the other page. Where everything is Twitter, everything is BuzzFeed, everything is mind-numbing. And so the people no longer have control of themselves. They're controlled by these the social media stuff. He even asks the one guy, "Take me to your, since you're your leader, take me to the religious source." And he's like, "Oh, okay." Well, he ended up taking him to an investment firm. That's kind of determining who's kind of leading the people now. Instead of the gods, it's money. Definitely the art fits the story. I like the art well enough. Show a picture of the hawk guy he has to fight. Kind of very Hawkman-esque. But definitely a stash for me. And they have different levels too. If you want to get the digital, if you want to get the copies of the books and some other stuff, definitely. I'm going to be throwing some shekels their way. What do you think of this one, Paul?
I thought it was great. I mean, like you, I'm a big fan of mythology, and we've talked a number of times off air about it and stuff. I loved the scene where he's got the tablet and he's looking at it. And he just takes the tablet and snaps it in half, and he's all pissed off. He's like, "Seriously, I steal the fire for you guys, and this is the shit you come up with?" I mean, it was like you said, the art fits the story perfectly. It's kind of a gritty story, and it's got that gritty art. And he's going on a mission to get that fire back, and I think this one's got 26 days to go, and it's 80% funded, but definitely. I'm throwing some shekels this way too.
Okay. And the other one that we wanted to look at.
Wait a minute.
What? This is our segment. This is our segment.
I read it too.
Hey, I'm gonna do it. Shh, quiet. I'm talking.
Okay.
So the next book is Rum Row, and I'll let you start on this one, Paul.
Okay, this one is by Andrew Maxwell and Michelle Bandini. This book was freaking amazing. If I could go down and pick this up for my LCS, it'd probably be my pick of the week. I mean, this is exactly the type of story I love. It's got alternate history elements to it. It's got steampunk elements to it. It's it's set between the world wars and the Prohibition era, New York. Rum runners, instead of in real life, they set off the coast of and they had this thing called Rum Row where you could go out to a ship there and get your rum. Well, in this story, they're using dirigibles and hot air balloons to create floating speakeasies. I loved everything about this book. The story was well written, had all kinds of twists and turns. It definitely had like a Rocketeer feel to it. The art was great, sets the tone for the story. I really can't say enough about this book. We read issue 1. The current Kickstarter is to do issue 2 and reprint issue number 1. It's 51% funded. There's 21 days to go. I am definitely putting some money into this one. I know for $15 you could get signed copies of issue 1 and 2 plus the digital copies. I think that's a hell of a deal. This book was incredible. What did you think?
I agree with you too, 100%. This was as in the Rocketeer feel to it. I mean, that's what I thought the whole time going through. It did have that twist and turn, not like a Sixth Sense kind of twist, but more like a Ocean's 11 or a Pirates of the Caribbean kind of twist, where you think it's going this way, but they had a plan the whole time. Definitely, I love the art. The art fit the style very much so. I do love the whole blimp aspect of it. It was definitely a great book, and I think if you donate up to, I think it's 35 or 40, you get the pint glasses too that come up. They're pretty badass looking pint glasses, but definitely a stash for me. And I'm gonna think at least I'm gonna do the 15 to get the 2 signed copies of that. And man, I'm super excited about this one and seeing where this is gonna go as well. So, okay, we'll go ahead and jump into your segment there. We'll look into those later.
All right. I actually have a shit ton of Funko news, but I'm going to cut out half of it because I was going to go over all the shared exclusives and all that. But if you guys want to know about the SDCC shared exclusive, just hit me up somewhere, and I'll let you know where you can find those certain pops. But as for new pops coming out, where do I start? A lot of news. Funko's actually releasing these new 2-packs. They're called vinyls, VYNL, and they're little statues. They stand as tall as Pops, and we're getting, I think, 4 sets. We're getting Batgirl and Poison Ivy.
Oh yeah,
but that one, that one's limited to SDCC, and it's only going to be 2,500 pieces. Later this summer, we're getting He-Man Trapjaw 2-pack. Sally and Jack Skellington, and a Freddy and Jason. And I also heard rumors they're going to make Stranger Things one as well. Funko Shop they should be available now. Game of Thrones stickers and patches to order if you're interested in that. If you're in Seattle and you're going to the Mariners game on the 23rd versus the Indians, the first 20,000 people, that seems like a fucking lot, is going to get the Felix Hernandez, King Felix pop. It's a cool looking pop if you're a Mariners fan, but
is it limited? Is it limited to just there, or is it just they're just going to give it away?
They're just you know how they give away stuff when you go to a ball game.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm sure freaking they're gonna end up on eBay and all that. So
I was gonna say it would be a cool idea to have like exclusives to like certain ballparks or.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Since we're on the subject of sports, I know Trinity over there sent me a list of football players coming out, and I didn't write any of these down, and I don't have them, but I do remember some. It's going to be like a football legends line. I know they're going to have Walter Payton, Mike Ditka, Barry Sanders, Joe Montana, all them old school classic players they're going to have. So be on the lookout for them.
This is the first time they did the legends like that, ain't it?
Yeah, they've got the normal players, but this is legends right here. Inhumans, these should be available in August. We're getting Lockjaw. Lockjaw looks awesome. Maximus and Medusa, but Medusa is only going to be at Hot Topic, unfortunately, because I want that. In August, we're getting Thor Ragnarok, mystery minis, and Dorbs. So I'm not going to go into any detail about those. Pre-orders, GameStop pre-orders are up right now for Fox and the Socks. Remember, the prices on these Flock Pops have gone up, so you're going to be paying about $17 for them. And the DuckTales I talked about last week, the Magica Dispel, she's also going to be a GameStop exclusive. Woo! Overwatch fans, SDCC 2017, Carbon Diva with Mecha is going to be available on July 19th. Only available at the Blizzard store, so get on that. A couple anime Hot Topic exclusives, Deku from My Hero Academia and Sakura from God knows what. There's going to be a door to that. I'm not into the anime. I'm sorry. Let's see.
I'm not big on anime either.
I mean, I used to watch it back in the day when Fist of the North Star was on, big and all that. But anyways, Flock Snagglepuss, you could get at Gemini Collectibles. Of course, Flock is going to be about $17. Build-A-Bear is getting into the Funko Pop game, and they got the bear actually looks pretty cool. It's like a bear in a punk outfit. You got the plaid skirt on, got the ear piercing or the piercing in the nose. It's called Fury and Fierce, and it also has a chase. For that, the FunkoShop.com. You could get the new monster. I forgot what they're called, but they're like exclusive to the Funko Shop. The first one's called Butterhorn and Snuggle.
Butterhorn?
Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
I will butter your horn, Huey, for that fucking
Like, where did that? Wonder where that guy even got the monster from? Like,
no, it's something they created on their own.
Oh.
Every video I watch, people are speculating it's going to be a cartoon. So we'll see.
Well, they did do that little animated video here not too long ago. People was wanting them to do like cartoons of it. You remember that? It was like I don't know what it was.
So that Pop in the Box exclusive Funko was revealed the other day, and I hope you guys jumped on it if you saw it. It is Venomized Deadpool, and that's releasing September 15th. I pre-ordered mine. Thank you to my Oracle. And I didn't know this one, but there's actually going to be a door with it too. So, oh shit!
What do you got there, Mike? You keep holding this up from your camera.
Right there. That's my notes, bro.
You had it up, totally blocking the whole camera.
Some of us are professional and take notes. August, we're getting that Tinkerbell rock candy, so if you're interested in that, it'll be out around August. Of all the new horror pops, which I'm pretty excited for. The Shining pops are coming. We're getting the 2-pack, the Grady twins, the two little girls. We're getting a chase with that one too, where they're all bloody. Of course, we're getting Jack Torrance, Danny, and Wendy as well. Let's see what else I got on the back here. This stuff right here was just breaking news. I just found this out. You guys might want to pay attention to this. I just found this out like an hour ago. Well, maybe not an hour ago, but of course, with the Black Panther movie, we're getting Black Panther Pops. I counted 6 of them. It doesn't say what they are. It just said 6 Black Panther Pops. Rocko's Modern Life from Nickelodeon. We're getting Pops from that. I'll skip that one for right now because I don't want Jeremy to have another heart attack. I guess this DCWW means Wonder Woman. Was Etta in Wonder Woman?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're
that was Steve Trevor's the lady that she gave the sword to, told her to guard it with her life. Etta Candy. Apparently, she's from the comics. I didn't even know
that. We're getting her with her sword and shield, and it just said cloak, WW cloak. I have no clue what that is.
That's when she had that thing on the hood.
Oh yeah, okay.
That'd be cool.
Any fans of Angry Beavers? We're getting Funko Pops from Angry Beavers. Some new movie pops coming out. Tron, the original Tron, we're getting that one. We're getting a bunch of James Bond pops. Sean Connery, Daniel Craig, Jaws, not the shark, the character Jaws from James Bond. Joe Masterson, Jinx, Oddjob, and Roger Moore. Guardians of the Galaxy, we're getting another group pop, fucking with a bowl of candy or some shit.
Jesus.
Yeah. Bombshell fans, where's my Bombshell fans at? You know you're fucking out there. We're getting more Bombshells Wave 2. Batwoman, Catwoman, Hawkgirl, Poison Ivy, and Supergirl. Now, for the one I think Jeremy is excited for, I am pretty excited for this one too. It's the 4 new, or actually 5 new music pops. We're getting the Grateful Dead bear. Everybody knows the Grateful Dead bear. Well, you guys are young, you might not know that. We're getting the Jerry Garcia bear. We're getting an actual Jerry Garcia pop. If you don't know who Jerry Garcia is, he's the lead singer of Grateful Dead.
If you don't know who Jerry Garcia is, leave the show.
Later.
Later.
Elton John we're getting, which I think is pretty cool. I don't have a problem with Elton John. And the one I want the most is Kurt Cobain from Nirvana.
Oh, yes.
Finally. So, and that will do it for Shut Your Funko Mouth. I had a whole nother page of going over the shared exclusives, but I'm not going to do it. It's too much. I did not get no Funko Pops this week. I did get this Hulk plushie, though. Oh, that my store got. So he's in his purple panties, so he's pretty cool. It's actually a beanie baby.
It looks like he's wearing one of those Davy Crockett hats, like the kid on Christmas Story.
Oh, raccoon hat?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys got anything you want to show, but
I got a pop. Go ahead.
Oh,
Dave.
yeah, you did.
No, I don't have any Funkos, so I'm good.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I got this one in the mail. My Justice League Aquaman with the mother box. And the other 2 that they have on the back of it, I will be hunting down. If I have to train the coon dog to go get it, I'm going to go do it.
Oh, the ones you want, Jeremy, are Toys R Us.
Yeah, I know. And I don't have a Toys R Us, so I'm going to have to be stalking online when they go on sale. So
Yeah, Toys R Us.
the closest Toys R Us I have is like an hour away, a little over an hour away.
Yeah, all these SDC shared exclusives, I would start checking on the 19th of August, I think. Because they're going to go fast.
It's this month.
Oh, it's July 19th? Okay. Well,
Yeah.
just 5 days away. Like, I know the Supreme Leader Snoke, the big one from Star Wars, that's only going to be an Amazon exclusive. So, Yeah. So, shut your Funko mouth.
Okay, and we'll move on to the Trinity Superhero Cinema. Go ahead, Trinity.
Okay, let me hit my share my screen here. Okay, some of this I already posted on the Blaster Stash It page, but we're getting the new Warriors. We got some casting news for that. They got this chick right here, Miliana something. I'm not even gonna try to do that. She was in Silicon Valley and This Is Us. I haven't seen This Is Us, but I saw her in Silicon Valley. She's playing Squirrel Girl. Derek, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that either. He's Mr. Immortal. I have no idea who these guys is. Y'all have to help me out here and tell me if this is good casting or not. Jeremy Tardy from Dear White People and 10 Days in the Valley as Dwayne Taylor, aka Night Thrasher.
I know who Night Thrasher is.
He usually wears a mask, so.
This dude right here, Caleb Worthy, as Robbie Baldwin, aka Speedball. Don't know who that is. Matthew Moy as Zach Smith, aka Microbe. And this chick right here, I don't know none of that, as Deborah Fields, aka Debris. That's all I got for that.
Yeah.
Y'all think these are good casting or?
The ones that I know, like I don't know who this Debris chick. She must be a new warrior.
I don't know.
I know Speedball. I know Night Thrasher.
It
I know
says,
Squirrel Girl.
it says Deborah is proud, funny, and quick-witted. A low-level telekinetic, very low, like she can move a paper cup. Well, the wind can do that.
What was that? Moon Girl?
No, it says
Counts like Moon Girl.
this dude. I don't know. I don't know anything about these. You guys, if y'all know anything, I don't even. Last I heard about Squirrel Girl, the chick from Pitch Perfect wanted to play it in the movie. So
Yeah. What's her name?
Anna Kendrick. I haven't read anything with Squirrel Girl on it, so I know nothing about her. So
I sold that first appearance of Squirrel Girl to my buddy. He's a big Squirrel Girl fan. I kid you not. I sold it for $25. I'm gonna steal it back from him.
But we'll go on to the next story. We got some Wonder Woman 2 news. It says Wonder Woman 2 will be set in the 80s and Chris Pine could be returning. According to production details, Screen Rant has learned the story of Wonder Woman 2 will be another historical adventure prior to the modern-day DCEU. Set during the 1980s, the film will send Diana against the forces of Soviet Union. In the closing days of the Cold War, the production team is expected to remain on board for the sequel, with confirmation that Jeff Johns is developing Wonder Woman 2 script with Patty Jenkins, who is still in negotiations. But with all word of mouth pointing to her contracts word of mouth pointing that her contracts are signed, they'd be stupid not to get Patty Jenkins back, in my opinion. And I've seen a lot of people like speculating how could they bring Chris Pine back. Well, there's two ways they could go. They could go flashbacks to show some stuff between him and her that we didn't get in the first movie. But I was kind of thinking this is a spoiler alert for people that haven't seen Wonder Woman. Is anybody in the chat not seen Wonder Woman?
It's kind of late. Too late now. We've already done spoiled it. You're dead.
Well, anyway, you don't see him die at the end of the movie. You don't see him die. You just see her looking at the plane, and the plane blows up. There's possibly a way that she could, bring him back and say that he parachuted out or something at the last minute. I don't know. But anyway, what do y'all think about it being set in the 80s? I think it's a great way to get around not having to tie it to Justice League or anything else,
I think 80s was a pretty prime time for Wonder Woman in the comics.
Yeah. Was that when she didn't have any powers?
That was the late 70s, I think. That's where she wore like the regular street clothes kind of thing.
Yeah, the white suit.
Yeah, that was, I think, late 70s. Maybe
Hopefully
early 80s.
Hopefully they won't go that route. They'll just put her in that time period. But what do you guys think about it? Paul, Mike, you got anything to say about that?
Not really.
Okay. We'll go This one right here just kind of surprised me. This is I don't know how to say his name. This Kieran Hines didn't interact with the Justice League cast as Steppenwolf. This is his quote. It says, "I don't know whether they're all afraid to come and meet me. No, they weren't really, because it's imaginary. You do it with a green screen. That was another huge challenge. You could say, yeah, but it was quite fun. And they're very encouraging in what you do, suggesting over here, look over there. Imagine that. Do this here. They're coming at you now. I didn't even have the costume when I was doing it. It was all done in motion capture. So they'll stick a helmet on your head. They put 2 cameras around it. They capture all your expressions, facial expressions. So basically, they're going to concoct some kind of construction, and they'll use my facial expressions, eyes, mouth, voice. They'll turn into this murderous, avenging Steppenwolf from the planet Apocalypse, apparently, who's bent on hell on Earth." And I think that's going to work out great, because I like the actor. I like his acting, and I liked him in Game of Thrones. And I was kind of wondering how they were going to use him as Steppenwolf. But if you look at this right here, you kind of get, this is the deleted scene from Batman vs Superman, or was that the very end of the movie, or was it deleted? I can't remember.
I don't remember.
But those little boxes. Not boxes, but the little things that's on that ship, I've heard people refer to it as Etch-a-Sketch. They can't do color, so you can just imagine seeing that, like the red horns and the red in his suit and everything. I think it's going to be sweet. You can kind of see his face if you kind of look close enough right there. I think that's pretty cool.
That guy also played Caesar in the HBO show Rome.
That's him.
Spoiler
that's him right
alert,
there.
he dies at the end of, Caesar dies, just to let you know.
Yeah. That's him right there, him and Paul. Nobody found that funny, okay?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, look.
Maybe. Paul doesn't have cute dimples like that.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go.
He does on the other end.
Oh.
I wasn't going to go there, but
This has got me kind of excited. WB is allowing Matt Reeves to make the Batman his way. And it says, when asked if the Batman directing gig came with assurances from the studio, Reeves responded with the following. Yeah, when I come in, what I say is, look, first of all, you're asking me if I'm interested in this franchise. I am. I love this franchise. I've loved it since I was a kid, but here's the way in which I'm interested in it. If you're not interested in it that way, then that's totally fine. And the good news was they said, yeah, we're really interested in it that way. And I remember this on Dawn, too. There would be moments where I came in for a pitch that was a certain version of the movie, and somewhere along the way, because they didn't know me or whether it was or whatever it was, they would say, why don't we do this? And I would just simply say, that's not the movie we talked about. That's not the movie I want to do. And I have to say that they always backed down when it came to that. And it's kind of been that way. I've always done it. And here's the thing, I'm always happy not to do something. I'm usually looking for a reason to say no. So I think that's really good, so we don't get another Suicide Squad 2. And another Suicide Squad, we get Matt Reeves' vision of the Batman. So that's, a lot of people are saying, I've read a lot of things saying that Joe Manganiello's Deathstroke is most likely out the window. He's did away with the script from the Affleck version. They're totally rewriting it. So what do you guys think about it?
Is Affleck going to get his bat panties in a bunch by him not writing his own story, or does he think he's going to go along with be okay with not directing, not writing, and not starring?
I think he's okay with it, because he's the one that gave up directing, and
I'll just go on a bender.
He was just saying, everything that I've heard was he was just like overworked, really, and that's the reason he gave up the directing it. So I said this from the beginning. They got the quote that Matt Reeves has said it's going to be like a crime noir and like a detective story. I would really love to see a dark take on the Riddler, AK, like not AK, but a la like the 0 Year arc. I would really love to see that. Reviews from the Batcave says I wanted Deathstroke. Yeah, I wanted Deathstroke too. We still could get Deathstroke, but it won't be the script that we got before. So
You're gonna get the caped Deathstroke.
the what?
The caped, the new Deathstroke, the white uniform.
Oh.
Looks like the
No,
snowtrooper
please
from Star Wars.
This one.
I can't see that.
He can't see it.
Yeah, it must be John Cena. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead into the next story right here. This is a story that piqued my interest because I love Quentin Tarantino. And new details emerged of Quentin Tarantino's Manson murder movie. Margot Robbie eyed as Sharon Tate. It says Tarantino's next film, which we learned last night, will have something to do with the Manson family murders, an event that culminated in 1969 and saw followers of cult leader Charles Manson brutally murder actress Sharon Tate in her home, as well as 4 others. Tarantino has not officially revealed anything, and so everything we know thus far comes from the trades. But last night's initial reports noted that the filmmaker is working to put his cast together before setting the film up at a studio, and he's had discussions with Brad Pitt and Jennifer Lawrence for roles. What do you guys think of a Quentin Tarantino take on the Manson?
I don't think it's needed. I don't need a Hollywood movie about the Manson. That dude is freaking nuts.
I'm down for it.
You would be.
I was. Well, I'm down for it
just
too.
hoping for a chance of seeing Margot Robbie naked.
Go watch Wolf of Wall Street, and then you can get your fix, and then don't worry about it.
I had heard that before earlier tonight. I was watching the Collider Movie Talk, and they were talking on there about that there was pushback from Sharon Tate's family, and they were saying that one thing about, like, you know, he took on World War II and Hitler, and he took on slavery. But in something like World War II or kind of or slavery, you have there's millions of people that died. So that was in the 40s. This was only in the 70s or the late 60s, and there's people that was still alive today that was involved in this, and they said that her family was kind of pushing back against this.
I mean, yeah, wouldn't you too?
I
you
don't
wouldn't
know.
necessarily want a movie made about the killer of your daughter or your son. I mean, I sure the hell wouldn't want to see it if my kid got murdered by that person. You know, glorifying what he had done. That's just my take.
I agree. I don't know. Like they said, it's not even confirmed. It's just been, rumors. So I don't know what to think about that. Especially if it's going to be him sensationalizing it, which I don't know. But I'm going to go to the next story. This right here, this made me sad. Spawn refuses to let go of creative control. And then he says down here, so I'm not selling it, but if you want to see the rough draft, I'll send it to you. But just so everybody knows, I write, produce, direct, non-negotiable. It's he explained before confirming that he still, and that still positively that I wouldn't ask to be a newbie director on a script that was going to have an $80 million budget for it. Why? Because as a CEO of my own corporation, I wouldn't take that deal. I wouldn't stick out $80 million and go, they're going to put a rookie and he's going to basically be in charge of it. So I've created this tight little one that I keep saying I think I can shoot it for $10 million. Know about that, man. I don't know about him wanting to write, produce, and direct it. What do you guys think?
I think write it, but I don't think he needs to direct it. I think he needs to let a little more creative control. I mean, that's his baby, though. And in that, one of his first characters he created.
Yep.
He created that character when he was like 15 or 16, I think. I agree with you. I mean, I know that's his baby and everything, but why not just get
we've seen
and
what
talk
happens
about it with a director that you feel has the same.
We've seen what happens when comic guys try to direct movies. The Spirit, anyone?
Oh, yeah. My son liked it, but he's also 16. No, so. Okay.
That sucks, man. I don't know, man. I would just get a horror director, somebody like James Wan or somebody that would. I don't know. What do you think about it, Mike?
I'd say let Todd McFarlane do
die?
what he fucking wants. I don't. Am I dead?
You might be.
I thought
No,
your phone might have died or whatever. Anyway.
I agree with you guys.
Go ahead. Okay, well, we're going to the next one. We got our first or best look at Thanos from the Avengers Infinity War. I know, Mike, you're a big fan of Thanos. What do you think about that look?
I'm down. He needs that fucking Infinity Gauntlet, though.
Doesn't he have a helmet too, though?
Yeah.
Yeah. He does have a helmet. I don't know why he doesn't have it on.
It's better than the fucking Vulture looks.
Okay, I'm going to move on to the next story. Okay, Joe Pesci finally signs on to The Irishman as Martin Scorsese solidifies his cast. It says Robert De Niro stars as hitman Frank the Irishman Sheeran. The real story of the disappearance is Deathbed. Pesci, who turned down a role in the film rumored 50 times, will play mob boss Russell Buffalino, who has long been suspected of being involved in Hoffa's disappearance. Pesci hasn't been seen on screen since 2010's Love Ranch, and before that, 2006, The Good Night was a big deal. And they're saying it's going to be there's a bunch of people, like Harvey Keitel is in talks to join, Bobby Cannavale, all these, Al Pacino. And it's going to be, they said, let's see up here if I can find it. Scorsese will be using cutting-edge technology to de-age his actors so they can portray their characters in various time periods, much like the way Marvel has done with Michael Douglas and Robert Downey Jr. They went through various rounds of tests, and Scorsese seems to have been pleased with the results, so this should be an interesting one. And it's a Netflix exclusive.
Pretty soon we won't even need actors. They'll just make them up.
Probably. But if you remember the way they did Michael Douglas and Robert Downey Jr., it looked cool. And the one thing that's got me, optimistic about it, it says they went through various rounds of tests, and Scorsese seems to have been pleased with the results. So if he's already seen how they're going to look, then.
But how much of the film is it supposed to be that?
It's just like different parts, like they'll cut back to like different other scenes. I don't know. They don't tell that much. It can't be a lot because it's a Netflix exclusive. And I mean, you think you're gonna have to pay Scorsese, Pacino, De Niro, Joe Pesci, Harvey Keitel. I mean, you're gonna have to shell out some bucks already. So I think it's gonna be interesting. I mean, and they also said that it might be getting a limited theatrical run, so it can be in contention for an Oscar. That's my last story.
I know what's not winning an Oscar.
What?
Fucking Spider-Man Homecoming.
Oh my goodness, get off that train.
That please note that was not me that said that. But yeah, that's all I got for tonight for my superhero cinema. I had a pretty good little bit of stuff, but I wanted to blow them through them. I wanted to add a couple movies that didn't have anything to do with superheroes, because we all, I'm pretty sure, watch movies that don't have anything to do with superheroes. And you're getting two iconic directors, Quentin Tarantino and what's his name? Martin Scorsese.
No. Okay, so we'll go ahead and close the door on Trinity Superhero Cinema, and we'll go ahead and move to our closing. Any shout-outs or anything you'd like to say there? We'll start with you, Paul.
Just want to say we will be putting links to the two Kickstarters in the notes below.
They are already down there. I put them in there.
Okay, cool. Check them out. If it sounds like something you'd be interested in, we're trying to get these guys over the top. Other than that, That's it for me.
Mike,
Pop
Killer, or whatever your name is, or Taco Molester, or whatever one you want to take this week.
What's that? Homecoming sucks.
Oh, really?
Anyway, a few new subscribers I got to my channel. Marco808. He has 206 subscribers. Go check out his contest entry to the Summer Spectacular. He did an awesome job making Dave look like Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
Brett Hawes, and yeah, apparently Paul likes to crawl up other people's asses. I don't know what's going on, but it was fucking funny as shit. All your guys' entries have been funny. Brett Hawes, it's Bread H-A-U-Z. He's got 37 subs, and Fred Hall Direct Edition. He's got 166 subs. And yeah, shout out to Wonder Woman, comic book movie of the year. Spider-Man sucks. And
okay, moving on. Time to mute Mike. Mute. I muted him. Go ahead, Trinity.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Don, the comic book junkie. Chad Ramsden. Let me scroll up here and see who I was in there. I saw Legend in there earlier. Reaper Tate, shout out to you. Under your chair is 3 subs. Check them out. You got a turkey, a ham, and a roast beef. They're playing. Shout out to Jason Smith. Everybody in the chat. You know how Alex calls me Trinity Winfrey. Shout out to everybody. Shout out for Paul. Seems like it's been 8 years since we saw him. No, I'm kidding. Glad he's back though, man. Look at Mike. He's getting restless with his mic muted. I bet if you,
I don't know how to unmute him.
I was gonna say, I bet if you just unmute him, you'd randomly get some new cuss words.
It says muted, but it won't let me unmute. He muted. Did you mute yourself, Mike? Apparently not.
He did, I think.
No, the bastard.
Shout out to everybody.
He's trying to get me riled up. My shout out to review from the Batcave, Chad. I'm not going to say why because I don't want people getting mad at me in the panel, so I'll just leave it at that. Thank you for the awesome A-OK. I got the bird. There's the bird. And I want to give a shout out since it's one of my weaknesses. This has got to be real. Phenomenal hair gel. The hair styling cream. So this keeps my hair right where it needs to be so I can be the best host I possibly can be on the Blasted or Stashed show. So that's it for this week. We'll catch you next Friday, same bat time, same bat channel. Whether you blasted or whether you stashed, you happy reading, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Wait, Paul didn't get any shout-outs?
Oh, Paul! Paul did? Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Oh,
That was the
whatever.
first one.
We're just going to end this shit. See ya.
Later, guys.